Hello and welcome to Bangladesh Today. I'm Smita Prakash. The Awami League won the violence-hit general election this week and is poised to form a government next week. The other main political party, the BNP, which boycotted the election, has now painted itself into a corner. All the 6 other political parties which have representation in the 10th Parliament also want to be in Sheikh Hasina's cabinet, none in the opposition. An election somewhat tarnished by bloody street violence and a boycott by major political party. But Bangladesh has decided to stay on course. The Awami League won 232 of the 300 elected seats, much more than the 151 needed for a majority. Speaker Shireen Sharmeen Chaudhary administered the oaths to the new lawmakers, including party president Sheikh Hasina. A total of 284 MPs took the oath of office to form the 10th Parliament, though the 9th Parliament still exists. Sheikh Hasina was elected as leader of the Awami League party, making it almost certain that she would be Prime Minister of Bangladesh for a second consecutive term. Satisfied over his election win, Awami League lawmaker Mohammad Subid Ali Bhuiyan assured the people that the Awami League would fulfill all its electoral promises.
আমি আনন্দিত যেহেতু আমি দ্বিতীয়বারের মধ্যে এমপি হয়েছি আজকে এমপি হতে পেরেছি এবং এমপি না হলে এলাকার কাজ করা যায় না অতীতে আমি একবার এমপি ছিলাম গতবার এমপি হওয়ার সুবাদে কাজ করেছি এবারে যে সমস্ত অসমাপ্ত কাজগুলি আছে
The BNP, which had boycotted the election, is continuing its agitation against the election, calling it a farce. The BNP chairperson Khalida Zia, who had been elected either Prime Minister or Leader of the Opposition since 1991, is going to lose all state facilities that she has so far enjoyed for 2 decades. Her utility bills for water, electricity, gas and telephone bills, her support staff, security detail will not be picked up by the state anymore. Khalida Zia had rebuffed all pleas to fight the election, sticking to the stand that it's either a caretaker government or else non-participation. The result, an election was held and the -1 formula has come into effect. But Khalida Zia is still not willing to come to the negotiating table for talks on a possible re-election. The other Begum of Bangladesh, the one in the hot seat, Sheikh Hasina, is defending the election under her watch as legitimate and participatory.
It doesn't mean that there will be a question of legitimacy or anything, no. People participated in the poll and other political parties, they participated.
Sheikh Hasina Wajid also said that she is open to talks with the opposition about holding fresh elections, but only if they stop strikes and attacks against security forces and civilians.
I tried my best, I told you. I offer ministry, I offer to share power with our opposition. I have done as much as I can do, but they didn't respond. If they realize that they made a mistake not participating in the election, perhaps then they may come forward. It is only some people raise this issue only because what I feel, we both are women, that's why. If there would have been 2 males, perhaps nobody would have raised this issue. There is nothing personal, it's absolutely ideological. It's absolutely that each and every country you have government party, opposition party.
Sheikh Hasina even rubbished speculations that she might enforce emergency rule in the country. Analyst of the Transparency International Bangladesh, Iftikhar Zaman, however, feels that the situation was far from improving and that a solution to the impasse between the two major parties needed to be found.
If we are looking at the stalemate that we are in and the way that the build up to the election has not really at all in any manner resolved that problem. The stalemate remains where it is, which means whether or not the government goes ahead with the formation of the new government and the new parliament, the opposition will continue to demand the resignation of the new government.
Zaman also said that the stalemate had affected all sections of society, with ordinary workers dependent on industries which have been hit by blockades and strikes. Factories like Ananta Garments on the outskirts of Dhaka have reduced work shifts to 8 hours from the usual 10 and are considering to shutter production after violence disrupted transport activities, prompting global retailers to curtail orders, the worst decline in nearly 20 years. Ananta, which supplies apparel to global retailers including Gap, H&M, Walmart, is one of the largest garment houses in Bangladesh's $22 billion garment industry. The company's shipment costs are touching the roof due to roadblocks and fears of attacks on vehicles. The Associate Director for Production, Qaisar Hussain, said that they have to pay 3 times the normal sum to truck drivers who deliver their goods and also pay for security escort for the shipment as Jamaat activists target any traffic movement during the strikes.
We're suffering a lot of problems here for production workers not coming properly for hartal and road blockage, and for that reason our production is going down day by day.
His production orders from retailers for January have dropped by about 25%, and they may have to shut down 2 or 3 production lines. According to industry officials, the turmoil in the run-up to Sunday's disputed election had been worse for business than last April's collapse of Rana Plaza in Savar, an illegally built factory in which more than 1,100 workers were killed. Anwar Chaudhary, Managing Director of Evans Group and former President of BGMEA, lamented the fact that their orders have dropped by as much as 35%.
And customers are really concerned that the investment what they are doing, whether it been secured or not, of course, they will have to have this kind of feelings, because we ourselves really worried that whether at all our investment is secured or not, whether at all we can really deliver the goods on timely or not, So this is very unfortunate, because it took 40 years for us, to bring this confidence to establish this industry in the international market, that here we are a stronger player, But just with a small misunderstanding, let's put it either misunderstanding or let's put it with their ego, with our leaders, we are affecting our industry,
Bangladesh's garment industry accounts for nearly 80% of the country's exports and therefore is extremely important to the economy. Several factory owners are members of parliament representing either the ruling Awami League or the former opposition BNP. The pre- and post-election violence has not just hit Bangladesh economically but also its social fabric. There have been attacks on Hindu villages by activists of the Jamaat factions. Hundreds have been displaced in the rural areas. Homes were burned down in Hindu villages in Jessore district in southwest Bangladesh. hooligans attacked houses and shops with crude weapons and sticks, according to local media reports. About 600 people were displaced. The villagers said that they swam to the other side of the river to look for a roof over their head.
The situation of the minorities in Bangladesh, I think, is very precarious now because there is steady rise of fundamentalism and Islamic terrorism in Bangladesh. That's why everywhere the minorities are in danger, and the Hindus in Bangladesh are in more dangerous situation because they are not only minority, but they have been weakened gradually in Bangladesh's socio-political and economic sphere. And I think the Hindus are facing this big challenge since there has been a steady rise of fundamentalism in Bangladesh due to the hardline attitude of Jamaat-e-Islami and Hifazat-e-Islami. And the BNP has of late become the mass face of those fundamentalist forces. We received the information that the government forces, the government army, the security forces, they are protecting the government properties and lives and securities of the common people, and that also includes the minorities. That's a good gesture and good step from the government. And Sheikh Hasina Wajid government has taken a very bold step on that count. Therefore, right now, the security and the lives of the minorities are in the hands of the government. The government has to take more such stern actions because the Hifazat-e-Islami, Jamaat-e-Islami, particularly after the execution of Qadir Mullah, and the BNP supporters, they have taken the whole Bangladesh political scenario into ransom. Therefore, I think the government has taken some positive steps. We shouldn't always criticize government. We shouldn't always think in terms of negative attitude. Therefore, the government has to take stern action, and I hope that Awami League in Bangladesh is the only secular force and only political force in that country which can protect the millions of Hindus in Bangladesh.
Another incident of an attack against Hindus was reported in Gaibandha district, when an elderly man was injured after being hit on the head. Also, a portion of the Kali temple in Netrakona district was gutted when unidentified persons set fire to it. Criminals set fire to 2 temples in 2 villages of Bagirhat and 2 more in Kathom in Nandigram of Bogra. Idols of Hindu gods were vandalized. At least 19 BNP Jamaat men were arrested, 14 in Dinajpur, 3 in Bagirhat and 2 in Mymensingh. The government has said that cases of arson, vandalism, rape and attacks on minorities will be shifted to Speedy Trial Tribunal for quick disposal in a bid to check further violence. A peaceful and civil solution to the political impasse is needed urgently. Sheikh Hasina has proved a point by calling Khaleda Zia's bluff. Now it's time probably to broker a peace deal. Before we leave you for the week, here's our weekly news roundup section.
Expressing anxiety over the continuing political stalemate in Bangladesh, US Senator Robert Menendez has urged both Sheikh Hasina and Khaleda Zia to discuss on holding fresh elections that are free, fair, peaceful and inclusive. Robert Menendez, the chairman of US Senate Foreign Relations Committee, wrote to Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and BNP chairperson Khaleda Zia on January 8th. Donor countries including the United States and the United Kingdom are contemplating whether to continue funding aid programs involving the new parliament in Bangladesh. Warren Daley, a spokesperson for the United Kingdom, said it was reviewing its projects to take into account the emerging political situation. Bangladesh Nationalist Party chairperson Khalida Zia has said she could reassess her party's alliance with the Jamaat-e-Islami. In an interview to a foreign publication, Khalida reportedly described her electoral alliance with Jamaat as not a permanent alliance. Jatiya Party during a meeting held at the Jatiya Satsang Bhavan collectively elected Roshan Irshad as the leader of the opposition in parliament. The JP won 33 seats in the 10th parliamentary elections and became the main opposition party.
Has decided to stay on course. The Awami League won 232 of the 300 elected seats, much more than the 151 needed for a majority. Speaker Shireen Sharmeen Chaudhary administered the oaths to the new lawmakers, including party president Sheikh Hasina, none in the opposition. An election somewhat tarnished by bloody street violence and a boycott by major political party. But Bangladesh Hello and welcome to Bangladesh Today. I'm Smita Prakash. The Awami League won the violence-hit general election this week and is poised to form a government next week. The other main political party, the BNP, which boycotted the election, has now painted itself into a corner. All the 6 other political parties which have representation in the 10th Parliament also want to be in Sheikh Hasina's cabinet. A total of 284 MPs took the oath of office to form the 10th Parliament, though the 9th Parliament still exists. Sheikh Hasina was elected as leader of the Awami League party, making it almost certain that she would be Prime Minister of Bangladesh for a second consecutive term.